The global drilling industry is entering onto a period of uncertainty economically, but at these times, this is often when the industry, resilient as it is, introduces new technology, and we're here today to talk about some new rig technology that's going out in the field very shortly. Hi, I'm Mike Killia with IADC and drillingcontractor.org. We're here today at Scandrill's Tyler facility, where we just attended the christening of the brand new 1,500 horsepower Scan Vision drilling rig. With me today are Mr. Paul Nosvold, who is president of Scandrill, and also Mr. Charles Bora, who is president of Veristic Manufacturing. Gentlemen, thank you all for being with me today. We appreciate it. Paul, it's a fabulous rig. We've known each other a long time, and I want to congratulate you on fielding this unit. Can you tell me some of the key points about the unit that's going to really add value to Scandrill and your customers?
Yes, I'll be glad to. The rig, this is our 17th rig, and this is the first rig that we built completely from scratch. I'd say that it's our own design, but it's not entirely our own design. Obviously, we worked with great partners like Veristic on putting the rig together. But we worked this together as a partnership, and we have put together other vendors. We've not just gone to one of the major manufacturers and built a ready-to-go drilling rig. We built a rig that fits our need, and we have a great organization, and our drilling team has been involved in designing it from the beginning with our partners. And we started this plan to put the rig together back in August last year, which of course the times were a little different when we put this rig together, or contract and put together this package. But we've completed the rig in I think record time, and it's gone excellent. Put the rig together here in our Tyler yard with our team, and we built a lot of the peripheral equipment, not the sub and the derrick, but everything else has been built by Scandrill at our own yard with our own welders.
Okay. So excluding some of the rig, mast, and substructure, what are some of the key points?
The rig, of course, have part of the mast is the very innovative Veristic walking package, which we now have on 9 rigs, and so we're well aware of how that works. We've used the same derrick, but the new design is it pivots, and Charlie can fill you in on the finer details, but it pivots basically on the ground, which allows you to do more of the rigging up of the actual derrick, the top drive, and all the wiring that goes with it on the ground, creating a much safer operation. So that's one of the big features that's built into it. And then of course it's a hydraulic lift derrick, so it allows, we don't need a crane to rig it up. We do need a crane to move the rig. It also decreases the number of loads when we move in the rig. On the innovative side, the rig has we now have many systems, but this also includes the Caterpillar DGB system, which is a dual fuel system. We also have a oil filtration system built into it, which keeps you from, you don't have to change oil more than once a year, every 5,000 hours. We're also using a system called Oxet as a fuel additive, which we're seeing a 10% fuel savings on many of the other rigs. We've been testing that now for a year. And then we also, on this, which is the first, this is very normal on supply boats in the North Sea and in the Gulf of Mexico. It has a engine control system. So this will automatically bring engines online or offline depending on the load, which at that point you will run the engine at the optimum RPM to get the maximum benefit out of the gas blending. You know, if you run them too low, 2 engines, you get nothing. If you run them too high, again, you get nothing. So this is an electronic system that's fully controlled electronically or from the rig floor. And that's a big feature that we're hoping on. And Darko is also hoping they're going to get great benefit on fuel savings.
That sounds like an extremely sophisticated package for today's land fleet. Charles, I understand Veristic has been manufacturing rigs since 1997, and this is the first of your E-Series rigs?
That's correct.
Is that correct? Can you
first of the E-Series.
Okay, can you tell us elaborate a little bit more on what Paul said about the derrick and moving the derrick?
Right, the derrick's unique in that it has a very narrow stem, and before it gets to the drill floor, it spreads out with the design of the strong back. It's a transition portion between the wide base and the narrow stem. The narrow stem makes the mast easy to transport to help reduce the number of truckloads, the amount of rigging that goes into setting up the mast. The strong back takes the base out wider so that the crews have a lot of more space to put in equipment like the iron roughneck and floor hoist, hydraulic cat heads, and other equipment that they're going to need to put on the floor to drill. The mast raising system is really unique to this rig. We went with high telescope dual stage, two-stage hydraulic telescoping cylinders to raise the mast. It's been done before, but the unique feature about the rocket rig is that the mast raising cylinder stays in compression from 0 degrees, when the mast is at 0 degrees, all the way up to 90 degrees, and there's no transition from compression to tension, which is problematic for telescoping hydraulic cylinders today.
One of the features that y'all were telling me about earlier is very interesting, both from a maintenance standpoint, efficiency standpoint, and also a safety standpoint, which is that the mast can be laid down virtually flat. Can you tell me about how that works?
Right. When we designed the substructure, we tried to make it so that we pack as many components into that substructure as we can. That way, all those components ship in one truckload. We did the same for the mast and the raising system. We put the mast and the raising system in the bottom box substructure so that it stays low to the ground. That way, it's easy for the hands to drive pins, rig up the mud stand pipe, make all those connections that they need to before they raise the rig.
And Paul, you're intending to field this, well, next week, which is basically the end of January, early February, is that correct?
Yes.
Here in the East Texas area?
It's going to be working in the Carthage area of Panola County. to be
Okay.
exact.
Okay, for Anadarko Petroleum?
Anadarko.
Okay,
And we've been working, as we were told, as Steve Bosworth over the group for close to 20 years. And this is just a next step in that relationship.
okay. You have a long history, I understand, from the speeches at the christening,
We do.
and many years ahead, no doubt.
We hope so. We hope so. So it's exciting.
It is, it's interesting times.
Yes.
Interesting times. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time talking with us today. I appreciate it very much, and so will our listeners. And thanks to you all for tuning in and listening. Again, this is Mike Kilalia here with Paul Mosvold and Charles Bora, and wishing you good times in our industry. So keep it safe and keep turning to the right. Bye-bye. See you next time.